MBC.
Welcome to Black Republican, Black Democrat. I'm the cool guy, Jamar Nelson.
And I'm the Republican, a.k.a. Kamara.
The uncool guy.
Man, you can't diss this, man. Look at this. This is super cool.
What is that, a tiger?
It's like a tiger, and it's red, white, and blue. America, man.
Oh, you Republicans. We all love America, okay?
I'm glad you do. I wouldn't say all of them.
We all love America. We just acknowledge the effed up things that America does, and I think Republicans don't. And then they like to say that we're apologizing for it, and that's not true. We just, say, hey, America did this and the other, and acknowledge what America did. Look, this is the greatest country on earth.
Absolutely,
On earth.
And I think that you are right that there are a certain amount of people that do acknowledge that. But we also got to acknowledge that there are some people on the fringes that don't think America's a great country.
Well, I mean, and I can't be mad at them. I absolutely can't be mad at them because
right to opinion, right? Free country.
And because when you look at how America's done some of us, I mean, then you have a right to say, you know what, this isn't the greatest country to them, or this isn't the greatest state, or you aren't the greatest person, you weren't the greatest president because of this X, Y, and Z. So folks are entitled to how they feel.
Yeah, and I will vehemently disagree with them.
Well, I mean, you have your opinion, and they have theirs, and fortunately, that's what America
How's
is.
the saying go? Opinions are like buttholes.
Like,
everyone's got one, and they all stink.
I was just thinking the same thing. I was just about to quote John McCain though when he said it. All right. No, I swear to goodness, I was just thinking the same thing, and I was about to quote when John McCain said that opinions are like assholes.
That's right.
Everyone has one.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
or
right.
then he says, "You can't have your own. You're not.
Dang, you gotta go there, man. Come on, man. Those are injuries from being a prisoner of war, man. Oh man.
Or I don't have a pen, but I could do my best.
My friend,
Bob Dole Bob Dole impersonation. Vote Bob Dole.
Well,
that was politics, and I loved it. Even though I was like that was his re-election. So I probably was going into high school, 98. Yeah, I was in high school in 98. Or actually, I graduated. Right, I was about to graduate or whenever. Yeah, and so it was still fun though. To be, I'm nervous at every election.
Yeah.
President Obama killed both his opponents. Joe Biden killed Donald Trump.
I killed. All right.
I mean, 7,000 votes is a lot of votes, bro.
I mean, 7 million.
7 million votes is a lot of votes. So, thank you for correcting me.
No, I mean, to me, if you said he killed, if he took
versus
voters,
his race with Hillary Clinton, there was.
I'm saying if you took the total number that Trump had compared,
we know that both exceeded.
But you can't say you killed someone. If you both
actually,
historically broke records, I wouldn't say that you killed anybody.
You won't because you're a Republican. But if you're being truthful, bro, if you beat somebody in a football game, you lose by 7 points. You lose by 10, 21 points.
Okay, so
you get killed.
So if someone got 100 points in a football game and the other team got 80, you would be like, they killed them. You'd be like, wow, they both got 20 amount of points.
Yeah, I don't care.
I mean, come on. You wouldn't say they killed them. You'd say that was a great game.
No, you wouldn't.
And they ended up.
I would say all of that, but I also would say that team, anybody, bro, would naturally say that team. Listen, please write in and tell us.
And comment it if you
because everyone knows that's a killing, but I guarantee you it'd come down on a partisan side. But most people, and especially in sports, if you lose a basketball game by 20 points, AK, you don't just lose. That was a great,
highest scoring game of all time.
Then you acknowledge that both teams put up good points, but the other team got killed by 20.
I would not characterize anybody.
Well, you wouldn't, I guess, because you're all Pollyanna about everything.
No, I'd be like, okay, this team put up, basketball game. This team put up 60 points, and the other team put up 150. You got murdered. Like you weren't even competitive. But if one team puts up 180 and the other team puts up 150, even though it's a 30-point gap, you still be like, that was a crazy game. And you know what?
And he got killed by 30. That's what I'd say. And to get, I mean, as I just said, see, now you acknowledge you didn't say anything when I said that President Obama killed his two opponents. Well, because he did.
Yeah, but that's because he also got the historical turnout that he got was beyond anything. But like I said, neither here nor there. How has your week been since last week, bro?
Well, my weekend was, we'll get back to that because I'm telling the truth. No, my weekend was pretty great. I was out of town. Spent our last little family trip. We take one me and my kids.
Yeah.
Take one every year. And we took it this year to Kansas City because my nephew runs an AAU basketball team. Let me give a cheap little plug for the Inner City Ducks. He does great things with that organization for kids from 4 to 14.
That's legit.
My nephew really works with parents on the fees, and we had a big, nice coach bus. Well,
coach bus.
Coach bus, okay, and. About 50 kids down there. It was a great time. It was so friggin' muggy in Kansas City. We were outside. We were in Lee's Summit, Kansas City. Lee's Summit, Missouri. And no, we had a great time, man. Me and my kids, because my son is leaving for college Friday, and Dad is really sad. So he's not watching. So I can say that Dad is sad and doesn't want to see his son go. But I am proud, but my son and I, all of my kids, they're daddy girls, and my son and I were all tight. So I cherish our relationship, and I am really sad to see my son go. So I've had a great weekend, and then that drive back here on Sunday night was cool because I let him drive he has his license.
Oh, cool.
So I let him drive for about an hour and a half. I couldn't go to sleep.
Yeah.
No. But I let him drive for about an hour and a half, teaching him on the road a little bit, and now he knows how tough it is to drive on the highway. It ain't just driving the freeway going to here to St. Paul to Brooklyn Park when you can pull over in 20 minutes and get out and hang out with your homeboys.
Yeah.
No, you got to hold that wheel.
Right.
And so it was a great time. I'm extremely proud of my nephew and the good works that he did and what he did down there. We didn't win, but the effort was there for kids, and that's what we talk about a lot too is finding constructive things for kids to do, black, brown, and poor kids, because the poor white kids need guidance as well too, because they fall throughout the ranks too as well, right? Mm-hmm. And so kids, especially boys, all right, boys need that structure, and sometimes sports is a really good tool to teaching them discipline. Right. Especially if they got a really good coach or a program anyway, it could teach them discipline. So my nephew works hard with that, and the adults that are on the staff, they do too. I go on and on, bro. Yeah. I had a great time, and I just am extremely proud of my son and my nephew, and thank you for asking.
Yeah, man.
And how was your weekend?
Man, I don't want anybody to feel like whatever sympathy, but I keep it real too. So my wife and I, we bought a dog when we were married for like a year and a half, and named Billy, little Boston Terrier, and he's been getting old. And last week, it kind of hit that point where it was time, man. And I've had to put down one other dog, but this one hit me different, man. And it was I said to some other people, I didn't think it would be as difficult as it was to let my dog go. But 15 and a half years, man, he's been with the family, and it was a tough day, man. It was a lot tougher than I thought it would be, but we were able to use this great service where they actually brought a vet into the home, and it was very emotional.
You rich.
No, it actually wasn't.
It's pretty reasonable?
Nah, it was super reasonable.
Oh, really?
It would actually cost more to go back to the vet and get everything done. It was literally the same price, but we got to do it at home. So it was difficult, but that's just life of having animals. It's like this weird thing.
Oh, listen, I had a dog die last year. I know.
It's the weird thing, right? Like we get these animals.
2018.
Right, and we know we're gonna outlive them, right? We know it, but you still get this connect. You hope. But you still get this connection, man. But that's how my week. But it's been going all right, and we've got a lot of pouring out a support from friends and family members. It'd be like, a lot of memories. The thing that helped us the most, honestly, is my wife and I were sitting there, and we went through a bunch of photos, and we were able to use I can't remember what service it was, but you're able to go through and you could like send it to Walmart or whatever, and so we got a bunch of pictures made up, and that helped a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like we got to put everything out there, but yeah, man, it was kind of a crazy week. But in the world of politics, there's been a handful of things, man.
Slightly before we touch on that, let me if I could for a minute. I just thought about a friend of the show here, Jeff Lawrenson, lost his wife yesterday, Jane Lawrenson, and he's been on the show twice here and multiple times on my iHeart show. And Jane lost her battle yesterday afternoon, as he says, to cancer.
Yeah.
And I want to send a heartfelt condolences to Jeff Lawrenson and Lawrence Sings. Well, I'm black. Tomato. Because she was a really great lady. She was very kind from the first time that I met them before they got married, when they were just dating. And she was just really cool, man. And words escape me now.
Yeah.
Because I have two parents that suffer from cancer, so I feel them, and I couldn't imagine losing a spouse. And he said, as he described in his Facebook post, that she died in his arms.
Yeah.
And you have to be pretty strong to bear that. And I just wanted to take a few minutes here to, from the bottom of our hearts and this show, to again send our heartfelt condolences to him and his family.
Absolutely.
Again, Jeff, as I inbox you today, bro, you're a good dude. You're an extremely great dude. I appreciate the banter that you and I have going back and forth, and you never take it personal. Neither do I. We've always remained friends. If there's anything that you need, bro, please. And I know folks say that, but please reach out, and you name it, we'll be there. And I'll continue to check on you and check on your family, because I know that times are hard, and a lot of folks think that it gets easier, but it doesn't get easier. Time just moves on.
That's right.
And so keep your head up, bro, and Godspeed.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. I mean, this last week has kind of been a whirlwind. When we get together and we talk about things that we want to discuss, we always talk about topics that are definitely going to impact the black community.
Of course.
And with everything that's been happening since the beginning of COVID, there's been a lot of conversations about all these different aspects. And the thing that I wanted to kind of talk about is, we know that statistically speaking, right now, if you look at different ethnic and racial identity groups across America, which ethnic group do you think is the least vaccinated?
Blacks.
Yeah. And which group do you think is the most vaccinated?
Well, some white folks.
Asians, actually.
Oh, Asians. Well, they assimilate to white folks.
So the thing that I thought was interesting is that states like, New York City specifically, is rolling out these, vaccination requirements that if you want to go into certain types of businesses, you have to show proof of vaccination. And the thing that I think is interesting is that by whatever you think about the vaccines, and I don't even think there's enough time in a show to really dive deep into these different aspects. Now, full disclosure, I'm fully vaccinated.
As am I.
I personally believe it's a personal choice between individual and their doctor if they think that this is the right medical procedure for them. I got vaccinated, and anybody that doesn't, I don't begrudge them, and that's a whole other conversation. But regardless of
we'll have that too.
Regardless of where that is, the thing that I find most interesting is that if you start creating kind of this stratification between vaccinated people can participate in society and unvaccinated people can't participate, and we have this net effect of creating medical segregation, and we know that black Americans are less likely to be fully vaccinated, then how do we deal with that, man? I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, look, I do begrudge some folks that don't go get it. Listen, as an unapologetic black man, I understand the standoffishness, the skittishness that black folks have about getting the vaccination, the distrust of the government. This is 1963. This is 1945. The government isn't putting poisons in vaccinations to kill off black folks and poor white folks and Native Americans and other folks of color, right? That just isn't happening, bro. The government can be corrupt. Government can be corrupt, federal and locally. But I'm not going to buy into the fact that to think that the government is poisoning vaccinations to kill us. I should be dead by now. Or when will I die? Next year? I think we'll die next year, maybe. Maybe it takes that long. Because I don't know why the government would want you to live that long if they're poisoning you. They want you to live a year? What gain do they have? And what gain do they have for you dying? Listen, I'm one of those folks that never bought into the conspiracy that George Bush had September 11th set up. Get freaking real.
Sure.
Get real, bro.
Yeah.
Stop that. Just stop that. We can call George Bush a lot of things, but to call him a mass murderer, because that's what you'd be.
You would be a maniacal mass murderer.
A maniacal, thank you. A egotistical, maniacal mass murderer. And, bro, I couldn't even lay that at Trump's feet.
Sure.
I'm just keeping it real.
Yeah.
I don't like the guy. But you couldn't make me believe that he would even set up a September 11th. That's just not what we do. Bro, you got to think about the well-being of your family and community. This new Delta virus is serious. It's serious. Now, I think people too get misconstrued. Well, the vaccination doesn't save me. No one's saying that it saves you, but it lessens the chance of you having a hospital stay, of you dying, of you giving the disease, or it is a disease, to this virus, whatever, to someone else, right? Bro, black folks, we suffer from hypertension. We hurt from heart disease. What else? I mean, name it. Everything, right? Diabetes, right? So you are more susceptible to dying if you contract the virus. It's just that simple. I implore everyone to go get vaccinated, bro. I don't want to be around your sick ass if you don't have the vaccine, bro, for real. Because I don't know what you are doing prior to coming into being in that building with me. So guess what? I mean, I'm not one of those people, though. I don't confront folks. I don't know why those folks put your mask on. I don't say nothing to you. I just look at you crazy. Hopefully you catch the look I give you. But if you don't, so what? I'm not personally going to pull corner you and tell you to put your mask on so we can fight.
So all of that aside, right? I hear what you're saying. I disagree with a handful of things that you said. But all of that aside, how do you feel about the idea of creating a society in which the vaccinated folks can do things and the unvaccinated folks can't, knowing that black Americans are, as a percent, less likely to be fully vaccinated, knowing that they will not be able to participate in society in certain aspects? And I know we're talking about indoor restaurants and indoor fitness centers when we're talking about New York City, but how do you feel about that?
Well, again, I think that, listen, businesses have to sometimes, and here's the thing with me, I think government sometimes has to be big brother. And these are some of the reasons why. Mandate of seatbelts, mandates of like this, because you got too many people. Because keeping it real, we are at war with the unvaccinated. That's who again is contracting the more serious strands of COVID than us being vaccinated. So, and the other thing is, it does boil down to politics. You hear a lot. The number I seen on Fox and MSNBC was how many Republicans, especially males, are unvaccinated. Asa, I was going to call him Buchanan. I'm a One Life to Live fan. Asa Hutchinson, One Life to Live guy, just had a town hall. He got shouted down. They wanted to whoop his ass because he was telling people to go get vaccinated. It doesn't cure me. You're just lying. The vaccination doesn't help. And he was just kind of letting them just take over instead of strongly advocating for, no, it does help. There is facts behind it. We had Maj Touré on last week, who produced somewhat of a conspiracy saying that the vaccination had poisons in it or something to that effect. Is that what he said?
Yeah, in a sense, you guys should go back and watch the video, but
I
don't want to take his words out of context. But in a sense, for Maj and for people that fall in this, I think I'm going to be clear before I say this. So my difference is that I believe that people should speak with their doctors, okay? Because there are certain issues in which people will suffer or are more likely to suffer an adverse reaction to the point that they have created a
From what?
From a lot of things. It could be from the proteins that are in the actual vaccine.
Okay. You're saying for the vaccine, though, period.
You could have, there's the drummer of the Offspring. You probably don't know anything about the Offspring, but they're like a pop, more punky band that was around back in the early 90s, and they're still out and touring. He has a specific rare disease. So his doctor said, you are not a good candidate for the existing vaccines, and so he can't get vaccinated. And because he can't get vaccinated, the studio, his record label won't let him go into the studio. He can't go on tour. So officially, like this professional drummer doesn't have the ability to do that. So at the end of the day, right, I think that it's important to understand that people need to talk to their doctor. Now, the vast majority of people, if they talk to the doctor's going to say, go ahead and get the vaccination, right? But I still think that pushing and creating this idea that you don't have a choice. And when you said that there's a war of the vaccinated versus the unvaccinated,
it certainly is.
I think that is a war that doesn't need to exist, because
then get vaccinated.
But here's the deal, okay? Anybody that's not vaccinated right now, unless they have a medical exception, right? I'm telling you right now, there is nothing you can do to compel a percentage. I don't know if that's going to be 20% of the population. I don't know if it's going to be 25% of the population. There's a certain percentage that is specifically because they're being told that they should, not just that they should,
Republicans.
but that they have to. Sure, you could call it
and
Republicans and independents.
So wait a minute. So wait a minute. The government isn't mandating that you have to go get vaccinated unless you're a federal worker, and they have that right. Because again,
Sure. No.
When you look at the bar, one bar here in Minneapolis, North Minneapolis,
sure,
had 22 cases of COVID. Bruh, that's 22 people that went back out into the community and infected 22,000 people. I mean, I'm exaggerating of the number, but I'm not of the actual number of 22, but saying 22,000. But that creates a rest haven for COVID when those 22 people go back out into the community, and it keeps the community sick. Look how the numbers, bro. When the vaccinated came out back in March, or I think it was April, whenever it was, right? But anyway, I took mine in March. Look at when people started getting it, how things peaked, right? Or you shouldn't say peak. Peak is here when things dropped.
Sure,
football term, whatever. And then all of a sudden, more folks, and especially black folks that I know, so I'm keeping it real, that's what I do, didn't want to get it. Then look at the numbers started spiking. Here another full disclosure. My son, back in May, he contracted it. Don't know if he got it from going to prom. Don't know if he gave it to people at prom. We just know that Jamar had it. Guess what? He's vaccinated. My older daughter, she went to get vaccinated. One of my older daughters went to get vaccinated today. Unfortunately, something's going on with her bronchitis, so doctor advised her not to get it now. So it'd probably make you sicker. So let's wait.
See, that's an exact example of what I'm talking about.
But when a doctor's being truthful with you, like most medical experts are, then that's true.
Let's say that your daughter would have seen, Vax That Thing Up, that song that Juvenile put out, right? And she said, you know what? I'm going to go down and, Minnesota, Governor Walz, they're offering $100 if I go get vaccinated. She didn't consult her doctor. She just went and got it done. And it would have led to an adverse reaction. That's why for me, I think it's twofold. One, the idea that just tell everybody to go and do a medical thing, I think it's a bad, I understand what they mean by it, but it's a bad way to explain to people. People should say, government officials should say, go talk to your doctor.
How many times?
But
they are saying that.
Most of them will say, go ahead and go get it.
They are saying that. The president of the United States is saying that.
But my problem is that when you start to push these things, if you continue to be like, yeah, just go get vaccinated, again, you should say, go talk to your doctor, and you and your doctor can make that decision. But then,
some of these folks don't even have doctors, though.
Listen, man. If you don't have a doctor, and and I mean, you can't call a hospital or a local clinic.
If I don't have a local clinic, what makes you think I'm gonna call one to figure out? Bro, come on now. Here we go back to being real. I know too many people. Let's just walk outside the studio. Too many people that are homeless.
Don't go to the doctor.
How they gonna go to the doctor? The emergency room is their primary physician. So what doctor
Then
do
go
they
to
go
the
to?
emergency room then.
And even if they're sick, they don't even do that. Some of them.
My point is that when you were talking about a medical procedure, you need to reach out to a medical professional, and I think that is a responsible thing. But let's be honest. When we're talking about semantics between mandating to say that this has to happen or this can't happen, when it comes to the vaccine, whether it's the city of New York saying that these venues and these areas have to, people have to present proof of vaccination, and if not, the owner of the business can be fined. When we start going down that path, I'm going to circle back to what I first said, is that you create this natural disparity in which the end result is you can't snap your finger and make blacks all of a sudden have the same vaccination rate as whites. So while I understand what you're saying is that you want people to go and get vaccinated and all that good stuff, until that happens, we still are creating literally a discriminatory separation of medical people that are vaccinated versus people that aren't. And so I'm saying that the net effect is that if black people have to be segregated, and as a percentage, more black people are not vaccinated, and they can't participate. If more and more cities and states and other places start to adopt these rules and they're not able to participate for whatever reason, the net effect is that you are creating a discriminatory practice, and that's my biggest problem. Yeah. I think there's a couple of things. One, like I said before, the vast majority of people that aren't vaccinated right now, there is nothing that you can say to them that will get them to go and get vaccinated.
Unless Trump does.
And that is...
You guys do know Trump got vaccinated.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying, but that still doesn't matter to people.
Yeah.
Because Trump...
Well, it does, because he still bashes it.
Operation Warp Speed.
But he backhands it. He backhands it too.
No.
Yes,
no,
he does.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Yes, he does. Just the other speech that he gave a couple of weeks ago, he talked about how he was vaccinated, but how he didn't trust what this administration was doing with the vaccinations. And I wish we could pull it up. He did backhand it. Then he gave himself a credit again when he gave himself credit for Operation Warp Speed. Yes. Good thing I was there. I don't trust what's going on now. When you say that you don't trust what's going on now, those idiots that follow you blindly, and some open, some walk with their eyes wide shut, then that's their cue. That's that dog whistle again. Them saying, oh, again, he doesn't trust it. He's not messing with it. But this is a guy that's fully vaccinated,
yes,
who himself got extremely sick from contracting you seen him doing what he calls the crazy Joe, staggering. And then they said when he got into hospital, he too went on a respirator. So it's just amazing how, again, it boils down to politics instead of this guy who this administration does give credit for Operation Warp Speed. What he should be doing, but he's such a coward. He should be working hand in hand with this administration, trying to get the people to follow him vaccinated.
Sure, but until that, the thing that you have to understand, and I have this conversation with a lot of people on the street, people that tell me, listen, the reason why I am not going to do what the government tells me to do is because they can't even keep their story straight. Okay. As an example, this made me super angry. Just last night, literally, I watched a clip from Dr. Michael Osterholm, who was with University of Minnesota,
and with this administration.
Yep. And he was with the Biden administration. He's no longer there, but he was one of the chief
advisors.
And he's an epidemiologist. Now, from the very beginning, I've watched Dr. Osterholm because I think he's a pretty smart guy. And when he first started talking about masking, he said, so here's the deal. We don't have any conclusive studies that non-medical grade masks actually really do a lot. And then when he started to get tapped on the shoulder and that money that this is my personal opinion, I don't have any proof, but the idea of the money, of the power, the fame, he started to change his tune when it came to masking. And then now that
how about he started saying science saying different.
But then let me ask you, then why on CNN 2 days ago did he go on?
I just seen him this morning
listen, 2 days ago on King's, what's the guy's name? I don't know. I think his last name is King. He said, here's the deal. The majority of these masks that are not N95 aren't really doing anything. And as an example, he goes, in Minnesota, there are people wearing masks and they smell the wildfires in Canada. If you're smelling the wildfire, it's probably not doing anything to protect you. So this is the problem.
So what's wrong with him being honest?
Because again,
so he's telling you
he changes what he says.
He's telling you that you should get a more protective mask than these cute ass masks that people are wearing.
Said that from the beginning is only
you just
N95.
said he did.
No, he came back and he said, well, there's probably at the beginning he goes, hey, we don't have any studies. And then in the middle, and then when he got tapped to be on Biden team, he was like, everybody should just wear a mask. And then people were giving him a lot of flack saying, hey, you said this before. And then he's like, no, it's just better. And now that he's no longer in the administration, he's like, yeah, basically only N95. But this is just an example. This is one of probably hundreds that I could point to of where people go back and forth. And it's like, I get what the government's narrative is. I don't believe there's a nefarious position. Okay. I believe the government wants people to get vaccinated so the economy can get back to normal and so we can move on with our lives. I get that. But the best way to convince people to do something, in my opinion, is not to lie to them. It's not to create fear. It's to be open and honest. And that has been the problem.
Is that what the previous administration did?
Yes.
Oh yeah, they never lied about scared COVID. Cause keep it real, bro. He's the other. I keep saying it, bro. Wait a minute, bro. You can't simply say mock Osterholm and you haven't said anything about this administration, but that you're basically saying something about this administration, and then not say that the administration did anything to make people more afraid and skittish. That's exactly what he did.
The only thing that Trump did. Okay, when I talk about being honest,
he refused to get vaccinated at first. Here's what
Trump's biggest mistake was. Trump's biggest mistake was that he had intel in which it was worse than he let the American people know.
So that means he lied because what did he tell? What did he tell? What did he tell Bernstein?
Want to make people panic is what he said,
and which was a lie because he knew it was more serious, yes, and so you hid the truth.
Panic,
bruh. Stop that. Then you tell people the truth. So how you say? So then, excuse me, bro. How are you talking about? What's the difference between what Osterholm did and what Trump did? Explain this to me like my 3-year-old.
Okay, like a 3-year-old. Difference is, I know something's bad, but if I tell everybody looks to America, America's going to melt down. I'm the president. When I'm talking about a medical professional that says we don't have information about this, okay, not everybody's going to melt down because one random doctor. But you do this multiple times throughout the medical community, people lose trust and faith, and they start saying, you know what? I don't even believe you anymore because you keep on going back and forth, back and forth. Look at Fauci, for instance. He says this time, then he says it this time, then he says it this time, and it keeps changing to the point where people, like I said, my original premise, people that are not vaccinated right now, the vast majority will probably never become vaccinated. So if you start making vaccine mandates, you're going to create literally tiered systems where you have medical discrimination for people that are vaccinated versus people that are unvaccinated. And if right now, any administration, they can turn things around by being honest with people and coming back and saying, hey, listen, here's the deal. This is what we believe. Now, we don't know 100%, but here's what we believe, and we want people to follow us, and we want you to make a good decision. And it's hard because there's still going to be people that say, I don't care. And that's the problem. So what are you going to do? You're just going to create this society? I don't know. What's the number going to end up being? Are we going to get to 80% fully vaccinated and there's still going to be 20%? And what about the 20%?
Well, what about
that 20%? Let's say that of that 20%, that 30% are African American and they just don't get to participate in society anymore. And that's my fear.
And who said, see, there you go, being a typical Republican. Who said that they don't get to participate in society? Bruh, especially here in Minneapolis, there's not even a mandate. Well, they want you to go into government businesses with a mask on.
I know, but that's
period.
That's masks.
Okay,
that's one thing. I'm talking about vaccine mandates. They're not saying. I'm talking about vaccine mandates.
If you're a federal worker, if you work in hospitals, you working around some places. I'm not mad at bosses mandating that you come to work and not affect your coworkers and people around you with this disease. Instead of chain reaction and kill people, which we know.
If you're fully vaccinated, can you still catch COVID?
You can catch COVID.
Yes.
However, first of all, yes, you can. Yes. So I see where you're going with that. Yes. Uh-huh. Secondly, if you contract COVID, you won't even know. You're less likely to even know that you have COVID because you're vaccinated. Will you go into a hospital? No. Will you be on a ventilator? No. Is there a high chance of you dying when you contracting it? No.
So then who do you care about?
Versus unvaccinated.
Yeah, but if I'm unvaccinated, this is the part that drives me wild, and I haven't actually heard a clear reason to this.
Aren't you listening?
I'm not saying that you can't give me a clear one, but it's very difficult. So let's pretend that I'm unvaccinated and you're fully vaccinated. Okay?
Which I am.
Okay. And I give you COVID. Okay. And you're just saying that your chances of dying are way, way less. Your chances of getting super sick are way, way less. So why do you care if you're fully vaccinated and I'm unvaccinated? Because I'm the one.
Because I give a damn about my community, and I give a damn about the people that it affects. Because listen, excuse me, bro.
So
an economy is made up of people. Sure. I don't know if y'all know that. That's what makes an economy. People. So if the people in my community that I care about, that look like me or have a color shade lighter than mine, if they're dying off from a disease that they give to me.
But if they're vaccinated, how are they dying off? I'm saying based off of your argument, how are they dying off if they're vaccinated?
Huh?
If they're vaccinated, how are they dying off?
Who said the vaccinated are dying off?
No, I'm saying, you're saying that you're worried about the unvaccinated contaminating the vaccinated.
No. Don't be a Republican. I'm worried about the unvaccinated contaminating more unvaccinated people, bro. I'm not worried about them giving me disease because guess what?
But if they're unvaccinated, that's their choice.
I don't get what you don't get. Why do you think it's okay that people can go around infecting communities and businesses, killing people, giving them a disease that can ultimately lead to the death? Why do you think that's okay?
I don't, but that's why the vaccine's been out and people that can get vaccinated have been able to get vaccinated. There's no barrier based off of income. There's no barriers to getting fully vaccinated other than
none.
You talk to your doctor and your doctor says you are not a candidate because of X, Y, and Z. And those people in those situations, guess what? If you're unvaccinated because you can't get vaccinated because you have a medical issue, you can still get sick from someone that is vaccinated. So the whole argument still, I haven't heard a good reason. If the unvaccinated are spreading COVID and the people that are vaccinated can still spread COVID, then why are you worried about everybody that's unvaccinated? Because even vaccinated people can still spread COVID. When those 50 Democrats left Texas.
Again,
they're all fully vaccinated and they started spreading it.
There you go again, sounding Republicanish. Seriously, bro. Stop boiling it down to politics. That's what you're doing, and that's what's dangerous. That's why people are dying off, because you guys are making it, especially those crazy ass white folks that are yelling like at Hutchison's town hall. That's what's annoying too. When there's distrust of government, it doesn't help when somebody in government continues to say that the vaccinations are bad. It doesn't help. You need to. So you just said that you've had too many doctors come out and say that getting vaccinated so exponentially lowers your chance of catching disease, dying, etc. Right, etc. etc. Okay. So again, you just said you asked, talk to your doctor. So doctors are telling people, even those who can't afford doctors are publicly saying, get vaccinated. It saves lives. Now, what point do you miss?
My point is, if you are concerned about the lives of those that have chosen to not
then I advocate for them to go get vaccinated.
Sure, and you can advocate, but we're not talking about advocating. We're talking about
that's what it is.
We're talking about mandatory compulsion. We're talking about creating a system in an environment in a society in which those that have made the choice to not get vaccinated. Am I okay with seatbelts?
Yeah.
I'm not okay with mandatory seatbelt laws.
Oh, no?
No.
So seatbelts don't save lives either?
Seatbelts absolutely
Is there scientific proof that they save lives?
So here's where we get into this.
Oh, there's a difference though, right?
There is a difference.
Oh, what's
the difference? Just because the ends are good to you, you think to assume if it's a net positive that, and not just you, Democrats in general.
No.
If it's a net positive, then you can force people to do things.
How about people? And it kills me how y'all love. What's so annoying about Republicans is how y'all pick and choose what government, where y'all want the government in and you want the government out. You guys pull that shit out of your asses all the time, and it's annoying.
Like what?
Bro.
Give me an example.
I mean, we don't even have time. How about the marriage business? How y'all want gays not to marry, y'all are just so twisted. It's crazy how y'all want government involved in things, and then you don't. Bro, you can't have it both ways.
The vast majority of Republicans don't want the government in marriage.
Until it's convenient for them.
Culturally, what they can and can't
but they
do.
want to ban gay marriage. Excuse me, how do you want government? Isn't that involving government?
A vast majority of Republicans don't want to ban gay marriage.
They do.
Not ban it. No.
Oh, I'm sorry. What's
So
the word they use?
there's a difference
What's the new word? What's the trick word that you guys use? If it's not banned,
No,
what's the word?
I'm saying that they just don't want to condone it. They don't want the institutions to have anything to do with it. Now, I agree.
So if you don't want the institution to do with it, why are you worried about? I'm back to
Again,
you. I'm asking the same question you asked.
freedom of
Why are
choice.
you worried about who Tom and Don married? Why are you worried about that? Does that affect your marriage?
Again,
Does the marriage between two men?
institutions.
Does the marriage between two men? Does that have anything to do with your marriage?
Culturally,
Does that affect your marriage?
No.
Period.
Am I forced to have to do anything with
Does it have anything to do with your marriage, though? Does it affect your marriage?
Unless I'm
It
marrying
does not.
them, no.
It
But
does
we're
not.
talking about
It does not.
forcing people to do things.
Sometimes
right?
you have to. Sometimes
No,
government has to.
you can't.
Government has
You
to
can't.
government has to protect people from themselves.
See,
Absolutely.
I completely disagree.
Well, I'm sure you would.
Fundamentally, conservatives
I'm sure you
and
would.
Republicans disagree.
No, they don't until it's convenient for you. Of course, until it's convenient for you guys. Until it's convenient for you.
No. So if I don't now, I want to be completely honest, right? There are plenty of establishment people that call themselves Republican that actually don't have the values and beliefs the Republicans believe. You know, I would say I remember a time when there was a lot of called right-wing authoritarianism, okay, where people on the right wanted to compel other people to live their life a certain way, okay, and that 100% existed, but that wasn't anywhere close to a majority. The difference is that right now, because the institutions in America are completely controlled by Democrats and by the left in this country, every major institution is culturally controlled. I mean, honestly, think about every major institution and say,
What's a major institution that's controlled by government? I mean, by Democrats.
Military.
Oh, because it just.
I'm just saying.
That depends on the administration.
Education,
Stop. Give me a break.
News media. Okay.
All ran by Democrats, of course.
I didn't say ran. I said that they are controlled. So
controlled.
The narrative.
I don't know.
The narrative of how these policies are issued and the way that they're shaped come from the left. And I'm not saying it's a conspiracy. I'm just saying that it's true. Democrats control the major institutions and people on the left side of the spectrum control the major institutions.
Yeah.
That's just the truth of how it is.
Oh, okay.
And I'm saying that now that you guys have the control, now you've become leftist authoritarians where you say, because this is the right thing to do, you have to do this.
Yeah.
And it's literally the exact same thing. That you want to force people to do the thing that you think is right, and you take away the choice of people to make those decisions. And when it comes
what
to
was
vaccines,
excuse me, didn't Trump do that same goddamn thing when he shut the whole country down?
No.
Okay, I'll be quiet for the rest of the show then.
When you said he shut the country down, at what point did Trump specifically say this state has to shut down this state? What Trump did, and this is the thing that he got pushback on, even from the Biden administration, is that Trump didn't come in and tell every state what to do, because Trump believed, okay, as someone who believes that the states have rights.
I want my producer to Google the fact that he takes credit, because that's what he does. Your president takes credit for this country shutting down, and he claims saving more lives from COVID than would have. Dude, do you ever listen to the guy? Because I don't make up shit. This is what he said.
Specific executive orders in which Trump shut down states.
Then why would he say it then?
The only thing that Trump did
I asked you a question. Then why did he say that? Why does he take proof?
Travel, man.
Why does
they shut down travel?
He takes credit for that too.
That's basically the only thing that Trump shut down.
I'm not making we'll find it when we leave the show. He took credit for shutting the country down, saving lives.
He didn't take
Yes,
credit.
he did. It came out of his mouth, bro. Don't call me a liar when I watched the guy say it. What the hell do I need to make it up for?
So tell me, what did
I
Trump
just told you what the motherfucker said, bro.
No, what did he do to shut down? What executive order said we're shutting down?
Oh, so he had to sign an executive order to advise the states to shut their cities down.
He never did that, though.
Oh, he didn't. That never came out of his mouth.
He advised.
That never came out of his. Just say that. Okay. I'm done.
But at the end of the day, listen, when it comes to having these conversations about vaccines and should they be forced to do what you should be forced to say, what you keep on saying is that if it's for the greater good, that's what matters.
What I'm saying is, if something saves lives, then we all should be for it. And if you're a guy that's vaccinated, I can't tell. Because what you're sitting here doing is, if I'm somebody that doesn't want to be vaccinated, that's what I'm saying, bro. You guys are twisted. You're vaccinated, yet you're sitting here defending saying that it's okay that you guys run around killing other people, infected because they're vaccinated people. Because I can kill you too. So don't worry about it because I can kill you too, bro. You sound so hypocritical.
It's ridiculous because it's a choice.
It's twisted how you Republicans.
No, it's a choice.
No, it is a choice.
It is a choice.
It also is a choice to drink and drive, but you're not for that either. Is that not a choice? It's not a choice.
To drink and drive.
Is that a choice?
So you're equating.
Is that a choice?
You're equating drinking and driving to someone that doesn't get vaccinated.
Is that, excuse me, if you drink and drive,
yeah.
Like, excuse me, i.e. the brother that just killed his 8-month-old baby, drinking and driving, what did that lead to? What does sometimes drinking and driving lead to?
Yeah, it's a terrible decision.
Okay, so we know now that if you're unvaccinated, it also can lead to your own death.
You said the right word, can. You're right. It can. There's a lot of things that people do that can.
If you don't have the strong enough immune system,
even despite your best efforts, even despite your best,
you know people that's had COVID and lived. Come on, bro.
Yeah,
don't sit here and be contradictory when we both know that.
People, but we're talking
the vast majority of people.
Yes.
Oh,
we're
so go tell those 7 million people that done died. Then, right? That's I mean, that's only like a drop in the bucket.
And you're saying that if everybody would have been vaccinated, that COVID would just poof. It wouldn't exist anymore.
We do know that we wouldn't have lost so many lives had we had the vaccination earlier, and the folks go get vaccinated now. Your own doctor tells you that.
Listen,
what did your doctor tell you? Excuse me, I asked you a question. What did your doctor tell you when you went and got the? What did your doctor tell you, AK, when you went and got the shot? Did he?
What do you mean? What did they tell me?
What did he tell you? Did he tell you that it was bad for you, but I'm gonna give it to you anyway?
In my case, they said that if you're a good candidate, go ahead and get the vaccine.
What did he tell you that it would do?
He gave me a list. She gave me a list of things, potential adverse reactions that I could have at the end.
Okay, and did she tell you that it also would it would harm you? She gave you the list of bad things.
Potential adverse reactions.
Sure, and which is what she's supposed to do, which is what everybody, CDC, everyone's been saying. I mean, dog, it's just like getting any other shot, getting the flu shot, getting any other shot. The whatever it is, the measles, mumps, and rubella thing. MMR. You can have an adverse effect reaction. Excuse me, to any shot. So it isn't just COVID. That's anything. Drinking things you can have allergic reaction to it, which is basically the body reacting to it, right? So that can happen with anything. We know this. I mean, listen to the crap that all those pills that folks take.
Yeah.
Side effect could be you could die the moment you take it, or your heart falls out, or your liver. But they take it anyway because they think that, especially the AIDS patients, because they think that it saves their lives. There's been scientific proof that says, hey, this lessens the chance that you spread. In fact, the pill that they're offering now for AIDS, if you take it now, they say that it lessens the chance that you give AIDS to your partner, provided, as they say, that your level of HIV AIDS is undetectable. So this pill will prevent you from passing it on to your partner or whatever. There's always a good and bad with everything, with everything. But I think that we have to be honest and say that more lives will be saved from vaccinations than from being unvaccinated. This new strand is, especially when the other thing is, we're not just fighting here in America, man. These people come from foreign countries reinfecting us, right? That's a battle we're fighting. I heard the president say yesterday or today, I think it was, that we were giving 500 million doses, I think was it Israel or?
Yeah,
Israel, some country.
We basically have enough for surplus that we've been able to give a bunch to.
So we're trying
countries.
to lessen the chances that those foreigners come over and reinfect us, or vice versa, right?
Yeah, but here's the thing: you got to understand my position, and we can still disagree.
Let's twist it.
But here's my position. It's very simple: that because when someone, in my opinion, says something like, "If you don't get vaccinated, you're killing other people," that is hyperbolic, and it is not true, because I could literally say there's a bunch of things that I could potentially do that could potentially do something to somebody else. But I think and to be honest, when you say that, people, it doesn't register because they know it's not a 1-to-1 ratio. Okay. If I get COVID, it's not like it's a zombie disease where I give it to one person and they become a zombie and they 100% are going to die. We know that it's very transmissible. We understand that. We know that the death rate for certain age demographics is very, very bad. Okay. We also know that the death rate for certain other age demographics is not that bad. Go to the CDC and look at the actual death rates, and you will see. I think that it is wrong-headed for some people to be like, "Oh yeah, the flu is just as bad." We know that statistically.
That's things y'all say.
But listen,
that's what Republicans say.
It's not.
That's exactly what they said in that town hall the other day.
Depends on the age group. Depends on the age.
Exactly
group.
what they said in that town hall.
Depends on the age group. Certain age groups, it is definitely more deadly than the common flu. For other age groups, it's accurate. It's not as deadly as the common flu.
Well, tell my homeboy that died 3 months ago from that.
But listen,
a healthy, and I'll show you a picture of him. Big healthy guy.
Listen,
big healthy guy.
That's what I'm saying. When you turn the narrative into, if you don't do this, you're a bad person. I think that you are never going to get people to agree with anything. And at the end of the day, to me, it's about freedom. Okay, and you continue. I'm not saying just you. I'm saying the government, whatever, continue to say, go get vaccinated, go get vaccinated. I'm not going to ever tell someone don't get vaccinated. I'm going to say, go talk to your doctor, and if the doctor thinks it's a great option for you, go ahead and get vaccinated. But I believe that as someone that is vaccinated, that it was still my choice. And I'll be honest, if I was told that I had to, I would fight it tooth and nail. But I made the choice. I thought that it was a good decision for me. My wife thought it was a good decision for her. My mother is in a nursing home. I see my mother multiple times a week. My mom actually got COVID. She was asymptomatic, thank God. She did get fully vaccinated as well, but I still go and I see her, and I go into the nursing home, and that specific population is very high risk, and the COVID is way more deadly for that, especially for that age demographic, people that are in nursing homes.
Tell me something I don't already know.
But I made that choice, though. I'm saying I'm against forcing people to do things. Call it the libertarian in me or whatever. I'm against forcing people, and I'm just telling you that when you try to force people, even in the black community, especially in the black community.
So you're okay with the government forcing people to have a gun and permit to carry a weapon? That's okay.
I mean, you're not forced to have a gun.
Yeah, I mean, excuse me. You're forced to have a permit. You're forced to have a license to carry that gun. But that's okay. The government's forcing you to do that. Oh, that's okay, though.
I personally am against that. No, I don't. I think that because of the Second Amendment, you should be able to carry. And I'm actually very, very on the libertarian side, except for extreme cases of violent felons. I think there should even be a time for people to be able to actually get that right back. But no, I think that's a bad, something to try and give me an analogy. Here's what I would liken it to, that if you're saying that for the greater good, you have to do this thing, and you don't have a choice.
We're saying you should.
You should.
Yeah, we're saying you should.
I'm saying you should talk to your doctor.
We're saying you should talk to your doctor. Now we're telling you that
I'm not against it.
We're saying that. No, because you're vaccinated.
But if someone has a reason, it's not my business. I can sit and I can argue with them, and I can say, hey man, I don't really think that this has any point to it. But at the end of the day, if it's their choice to not get vaccinated, I know that because I'm vaccinated, if I care about it, I'm Gucci. If someone's not vaccinated, I tell them, hey man, if you really want to get vaccinated, there's a million ways you can get vaccinated. If someone's like, I'm never going to get vaccinated, I'm saying, cool, man, go do your thing. And that's at the end of the day. That
do you want people? So if you have a homeboy that has COVID, would you invite him over?
Would I personally invite someone over that had COVID?
That's what I asked you.
I mean, I'd have to know the situation, maybe.
Wait a minute, bro. Here we go.
I'm saying,
here we go, Pollyanna.
But
if you have a homeboy that you know that has COVID because he will not, or hell, let's just say he had it 3 days ago, 7 days ago. You're having a nice little schwa at the house.
I would say if you're sick with anything, bro, it's kind of a dick move to come to my house when you know you're sick with something. Now, if my friend called me and he's like, man, I got COVID and I need you to bring me groceries, which actually happened, okay? Friend called me and I said, man, is there anything I can do? I wasn't even fully vaccinated. And I said, whatever I can do, if I got to come to your crib, and whatever. And he's like, hey, it ain't like that. I'm not out like that. And I was like, anything that you need. I even told my wife, my sister, she had the sniffles and she went and got tested or whatever, but and she came back negative. But I was like, if my sister's sick, she's coming to the crib. And I was like, we'll mask up, we'll do whatever, but I don't want her to be sick and by herself, And my wife was like, "You're crazy," and I'm like,
"Excuse me?"
And I'm like, in this situation, if she's really
Bethany, I do like you.
Yeah, but at the end of the conversation, it was about, hey, if this is something that you want to do. So again, I would just say if my homie is like, hey man, I'm positive with COVID, I want to come and kick back a few brews, I'd be like, dude, that's kind of a dick move if you know that you got it. But if my friend was in a bad situation, I do actually want to get to a couple of comments.
Oh, we got some. Sorry.
Yeah,
Yes,
we got a couple of comments.
Put them up.
Rashida Watson said, share knowledge. Knowledge is power. Where is your mask?
I know, right? Because we're vaccinated.
I mean, we're both vaccinated.
And remember, you can be next to people that are vaccinated without a mask.
Rachel Williams said, what about hospital and clinic employees being forced to vaccinate? What if 40% of them walk off the job? As of right now, you have no idea how many hospital staff or clinic are fully vaccinated. And
actually, we do. Most of them, because now most of them are, because well, I know someone that works in the field. And so a lot of them are just doing it, period, because they're on the front line. And so they see what COVID does. And so they're going out and getting it themselves. But now some cities and states are mandating that those health workers go out and get vaccinated. And again, I know you don't like mandates, but if you're, especially in particular jobs where you're facing the public, again, if I'm a nurse and I have COVID and you come in for, I don't know, just a broken finger or something, and I give it to you, bro, that's unfair to you. But I gave it to you.
Just to be honest, Gay, I mean...
Just to be honest, I'm being quite honest.
I'm looking at the question. The question is, what if they still say no and they just walk off the job?
Then, you know what? There are plenty of nurses that want that job.
There are nursing shortages right now, and it's bad.
Yeah, right.
So, no, there seriously are.
Yeah, I know. Right.
So what happens if you tell them they have to get vaccinated and they say, this is America, I don't have to?
They're doing it, and they have that right. Sayonara.
So that's, to me... This is the problem that we run into. We run into this problem because by forcing people or attempting to force people to do things, the American spirit, and like I said, we know blacks are prideful, right? How many black men do you know that take very likely to being told what to do?
I hear you, but it isn't that. They just, again, it's this mistrust of the government.
Sure,
but then you have people that come around because listen, I'm probably.
But I'm just saying that they don't like it.
No, who likes to be told what to do?
Well, some people are okay with being told what to do, but I'm saying so it's kind of like that saying, right? Like, do you attract more bees with honey or with whatever vinegar, or honey, whatever it is? And then another question that was asked by Rachel Williams: do vaccinated people carry more of a viral load? So if they contract the virus and pass it on, is it worse? So that's actually interesting because CDC, specifically Dr. Walensky, she came out and she said, we don't 100% know. What we do know is that the rate in which you pass it on, like we'll call it COVID alpha, it was about 2 people. So one positive person passed to about 2. Now with the Delta variant, it's like 8. But with variants, there is an aspect, and I'm not an epidemiologist or virologist, but my understanding is that the strains are typically, as they mutate, they're not as strong. Like you won't suffer as many adverse reactions, but you do have more, contamination. Like you can spread it faster. So in regards to the viral load, that's where we don't know because the New York Times came out. New York Times said that the Delta strain was just as transmissible from fully vaccinated people as unvaccinated people, meaning that if someone's unvaccinated, someone's vaccinated, and they get the Delta strain,
I trust what Dr. Walensky said.
The CDC said no,
and I don't trust what the New York Times says.
I don't know.
Fuck the New York Times. Next,
and that's a question. Those are great questions.
Yeah, no, thank you. And that's what we mean about and more questions like that, guys. Go to patreon.com/BRBD. We have great content for you there. We will start having great content for you there too. Go to patreon.com/BRBD. We're going to have a lot of great things in store for you there.
And also, you can head over to anchor.fm/BRBD to catch this podcast. We appreciate everybody that watches and interacts with the show. If you want to listen to the podcast as you're working out or you're driving to work in podcast form versus on Facebook Live, again, head to anchor.fm/BRBD. It's on the best platforms that are out there, Spotify. You can go search for Black Republican, Black Democrat. But, to kind of wrap up this conversation, I think it's important to understand that when it comes to what's affecting the Black community, I think we both agree that we want the black community to obviously do better. I mean, I want all Americans to do better, and making sure that folks that are at risk, right, that they do the proper things, that they speak with medical professionals. That's the most important thing. And I just want to wrap up by saying that. You know?
We agree, but I also strongly again urge you to go get vaccinated. It is a way to prevent spreading the disease. We also want to thank the Weber Mart. If you've been sitting at home watching us, you should have went to the Weber Mart to get you a can of Sprite. Oh, I can't. Oh, damn, did I?
A can of your finest lime soda.
Go to the Weber Mart. That's right. 1701 44th Avenue North. 1701 44th Avenue now. Go to the Weber Mart. Hey, AK, appreciate you being back this week, bro. Will you be back next week?
Oh, absolutely.
You will? Okay,
Same
great.
time.
Same time.
Same place. Yeah.
I'm Jamar Nelson.
I'm AK Kamara.
This is Black Republican, Black Democrat.
Peace.